Hello, everyone. Welcome in to Living with Intention. It's been a bit since I've been on here to do a live. I've been busy doing some things, and I'm going to share more about that with you. But I'm so grateful that you're here for us or with us today. We're going to be talking about the cost of uncertainty and what becomes possible when clarity returns. And I think a lot of people don't even realize that they're carrying that weight of uncertainty. And you might be wondering, what do I mean by that? Well, it's how our minds work and how our nervous system responds. And we can feel it when we're uncertain about finances, about clients, about automation, about any types of work, or even personal life too. If we have any uncertainty, our bodies are always responding. That's where I like to bring forward different ways, different insights about health and wellness, whether it's business or personal life, because wherever you go, there you are. you have this body, and even though you think I'm doing all these things or I'm not doing these things, your body is responding to it, right? It sits quietly in the background. We can feel it in our shoulders, in our gut, maybe in your head. And so this is why I love this conversation, because you don't have to carry that cost, that long-term cost, either mentally, physically, or emotionally, or even financially, as these lovely ladies will be talking with us today about. And so I want to bring up something that, as we're talking about carrying the cost of things, about a masterclass that I created. And this is something near and dear to my heart. And it is a recalibration masterclass. And this is for high capacity women that are holding a lot. So whether you're a caregiver, a solo entrepreneur, a business owner, a retired, right, and still juggling things in life, we are holding a lot. So this masterclass helps you to recognize the patterns beneath the pressure of holding that, helps you to understand how to ease that tension. And this gives you that space within. And when we have that space, when the nervous system relaxes and we're open and aware, that's the key right there, aware in real time of that sensation of, oh, I'm feeling a little ease, I'm feeling less pressure. Then you're building that capacity within your nervous system for self-regulation. That's the sweet spot, feeling the in-between. And guess what? You get to choose. I said it. You get to choose this for yourself. And we don't have to hold those patterns or thinking, oh, I must hold this all, or this is who I am. Anything like that, that is just patterns that we've held. And so when we can find that space of ease, then we realize that we have more capacity within ourselves. So if that's something that you're interested learning more about, it is right there on that QR code. Scan that or DM me directly, and I would love to share more information about this free masterclass. If you know any other women that are high capacity, that are holding so much and they don't know what to do or how to ease that pressure, this is a perfect place for them to come and enjoy a stimulating conversation and learn more about me and other practices. And another place to help ease your tensions is in Bali. So I have this amazing retreat that's coming up October 11th through the 17th. And it is a space in Bali that allows you to pause so you can rise above the noise. We all have a lot in our lives. There's a lot happening, a lot in the world, personal, business life. And this is a space for you to come back and remember really who you are and what matters for you. So we have a 7-day, and it's all inclusive. The food is amazing. I could talk all day about that. And also we get to experience some cultural places. So we're going to see a local children's dance school, watch the Balinese children dance their traditional dance. We get to go on a waterfall hike. It's not a big hike, it's a clear path. But as you can see in this picture, this is taken at the last retreat. That's the waterfall that you will experience. And it is so invigorating and gorgeous and beautiful, surrounded by the jungle there in Bali. And also another thing that we are experiencing is a beautiful temple that's 3000 BCE on the northern shore of Bali. And we will experience a blessing from one of the local priests there. So if that sounds like something both men and women can attend, if you're open to adventure, if you are willing to travel and to connect with other amazing individuals and need that space, this is a place. So scan the QR code or reach out to me directly. I do have just 5 spots left now. And so I would love to share more information about that with you. And speaking of different spaces and connecting with amazing people, I just want to give a shout out to Mike Ashebrander, who is the Redneck Connector. He is the founder of the Hounds of Business community. And this is how I met Kirsten and Jeanne and other amazing individuals who are members of the Hounds of Business community. It's not about trying to sell you something, or they say pitch slap you, right? It's getting to know you, getting to know these amazing business owners and lawyers and doctors and coaches and other people from different diverse backgrounds, and then getting those warm introductions. Those are what leads to meaningful connections. So I highly encourage you to either DM me or look up Redneck Connector, Mike Ashebrander. I think he's in the audience right now. And just come in and see if this is the right room for you. So thank you so much for being here with us. And let's bring up our guests. Yeah, welcome in Kirsten and Jeanne. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having us, April. It's going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah, thank you, April. How long did it take you to get Mike's last name right? That's what I want to know.
It took 2 years of repetition. Yes, Ashebrander.
That's great.
It's almost as fun as saying supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Right.
Yeah. So for those who aren't familiar with you, do you mind just introducing yourselves? How about Kirsten, you go first?
Yeah. So my name is Kirsten Graham, and I am the co-owner of Six Figure Business Coaching. And my background's real estate, and Jeanne and I have just been so lucky to get to work with amazing entrepreneurs and to help them outsource and get up every day excited about what we do. I am the mom of a 4.5 pound dog that bosses me around. And I live in sunny Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, that is a nice place to live. Yes. And Jeanne, how about you? Can you just share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Jeanne Willson. I live in sunny Richmond, Virginia. Not quite as sunny as Florida. I have been in marketing and advertising forever. Started out in national ad sales and worked for MTV and worked at a national ad agency, and then wanted to go out on my own. And Kirsten was my mentor, and we kind of put our heads together and said we can help a lot of other entrepreneurs, and that's what we love doing.
Yeah, you both are phenomenal at what you do. And we were chatting backstage. That's another thing I love about these live shows is being able to chat and get to know my guests a little bit more. And can you share how you two met actually?
Sure. So my background is real estate, and I started selling real estate. And eventually, I moved to the mortgage side and owned a mortgage company and a title company. And Jeannie was actually a client when she bought her house. And
Oh,
she called to check on interest rates about refinancing. And we were just talking, and she said, "Yeah, I'm expecting my second child, and I want to stay home and start a business." Fast forward a couple of years, she called it again, check interest rates, and we started chatting again. And I said, "Did you ever start that business?" And she said, "I did." And so I was like, "How's it going?" And she said, "I don't really know anyone else that has a business." And so I was like, "Well, let's meet for coffee." So that was kind of our journey into becoming friends and just, sharing resources and things like that with her.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is kind of like the micro level of Hounds of Business, right? You get to know, you stay connected. I'm sure that Jeannie referred people to you and vice versa because of that connection. And it's those authentic, genuine connections that people really want.
Yeah, you
yeah,
build relationships.
and when you meet people like that you just connect with, and it's so much fun to spend time with them. I will tell you, if I may just take a second. The first day that we were going to meet was at a Panera Bread, and I was so excited and so nervous. And I got there early, and I got myself settled, got myself a cup of coffee, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and waiting, and she's not there. So eventually we texted. I was at the wrong Panera Bread because there's a bunch of them here. So I was like, "Oh my God, stay there." I jumped in my car and I drove all the way there. I was like, "I'm so thank you for staying."
Oh my gosh, that is funny. It is so funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're all human.
yeah. And those are the connections that you make, right? Because we've all done that, right? I love when someone, they're so worried about something that's happened, and you're like, "Trust me, I've done that more than a dozen times." Like, I get it. Like, we're all, like you said, we're all human. We all mess up. We're all late, or we miss an appointment, or we go to the wrong location or something. But yeah, it was a great story. We had a lot of laughs about it. So, but that really just started a good friendship as well.
Mm, exactly, exactly. And so just as you sat down with Jeannie and talked about the real estate and all that with your business, with um what you're doing and you're helping people, with their numbers, with finances and all of that. I'm just curious, when you really do sit down with that business owner for the first time, what do you notice that they're carrying before even looking at the numbers? As I
Yeah.
was alluding to in the introduction, right? What are they carrying?
Well, I think there's a lot of unknown, right? So most of us didn't take accounting classes. So, financing, taking care of QuickBooks and doing all the bookkeeping is not something we love doing if we do it at all. Understanding how to read a profit and loss and balance sheet, knowing how to
Yeah.
price our services, all the things that we're expected to do. I love the saying, "Oh, as an entrepreneur, you wear a lot of hats." The reality is when you start a business, you don't even know what hats are going to be thrown at you. So yes, there are a lot of hats, but all of a sudden we expect that we should be great bookkeepers and we should be fantastic marketers and we should be fantastic salespeople. And oh my gosh, we should create amazing offers. And so you have all of these different skills that you can learn or need to learn, or you can learn to leverage and outsource it. And that was one of the things that Jeannie and I really saw helped a lot of people, is taking that burden off of them, that you do not have to know how to do everything. You do not have to be all parts of your business, because there are other people out there that, bookkeeping is their superpower, or video editing and social media marketing is their superpower. So when you can learn to
Mm.
outsource some of those things, you're freeing up your time to focus on what you love doing, to focus on the part of the business that brings you so much joy and happiness. And it's also a great way to let go of some of that shame and guilt and overwhelm and possible burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail right on the head with that, Kirsten, is because people are carrying all that. I should be doing this. Why is it so hard for me? I'm just trying to keep up with X, Y, and Z. And then the finances and, doing all that, it kind of slips to the wayside, and then it's like an avalanche just looming right over you. Jeannie, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, for sure. We were just talking to a client yesterday, and she said, I'm behind. I have been for years, and it took me a long time to get over the guilt and shame, and just to say, okay, I just need to get a hold of this. I need to get this, no matter how bad it is, I need to get a hold of this. So we do find that sometimes. And sometimes it's just, I don't know what I don't know. I started out, it was just me, and now I've grown, and now I can't do everything. And I don't want to do everything. So I keep pushing it to the side. That was me. I would walk into my office, and there'd be a big pile of receipts there. And every day I would look at it, and I would have the shame and guilt. Like, I know it's not really, really hard. I know I could learn how to do it, but I just don't want to. And it's not where my energy is, and not where my talents lie. And so when I first outsourced and hired a bookkeeper, it was amazing. And I didn't even realize I was carrying all that, like you were talking about, until I let it go. And then I was like, yeah, gosh, I feel lighter. I feel like I've got space to be creative. I feel so good without, that nagging responsibility. And you just don't realize that it's just sitting there nagging at you all the time, and stopping you from really fulfilling your potential.
Exactly. Yes. And Kirsten, I'm just curious of what have you noticed with clients and starting working with them, and that their transition from carrying all that cost and being able to have more space?
Yeah, I think one of the things we really focus on is the fact that, our most valuable asset is our time. We can make more money, time and money, but we can always make more money. We can't make more time. And that's one of the things we really try to help our clients understand, is that stepping into the role of CEO and learning how to delegate, and learning that it's okay not to do everything yourself is a skill that will help you grow your business. So what we've found over the past year, working with a lot more clients in this space, is a lot of them are undercharging.
Oh, yes.
Pricing was increased.
Why do you think that is? Let's stop there. I'm serious. Why are people undercharging?
Well, a couple of things have happened, right? The economy has shifted. So, sales are getting a little more challenging. Consumers a little bit more are tighter with their money, but also things have gone up, right? So if your pricing was really spot on 2 or 3 years ago, but running your business has gone up by 15 to 20%, then your pricing's off. So it could be something as simple as just expenses have changed. Or a lot of times people underprice because they, when we carry shame and guilt, when we feel like we're always behind, we're not getting things done, we don't feel confident in ourselves. And so when we don't feel confident, we tend to underprice. So the psychological side of that is, if I raise my prices, no one will work with me. Or, that imposter syndrome. If someone knew that, my bookkeeping hasn't been done in 2 years, or, that all the things that we that are running around the back of our minds that we haven't done, or we haven't done well enough, if they knew that, they wouldn't work with me. So I think there's a lot of psychological reasons why people underprice. The other things we've noticed are cutting expenses. It's so easy in this day and age with subscriptions and reoccurring payments. We had somebody who had been paying for a software they hadn't used in over 2 years. So that was just wasted money. I think we had one client who said once they kind of got a handle and decided to cut expenses, it was going to save them about $15,000 a year.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it's not it's not one thing, right? It's not like, oh, they were just throwing, $15,000 out the window. It's a little bit here or a little bit there, Another thing that we've seen happen is either letting go of some offers, realizing that some offers were not profitable and maybe it wasn't the best offer to have right now. So letting those go. We've had a lot more clients who wanted to lean into memberships, reoccurring income. So I think as economies shift, if things change, as business owners, we need to change and evolve with that. So those have been some of the things. Again, seeing people who are excited because their bookkeeping's done. They're reviewing their profit and loss sheet and their balance sheet every month, and they're getting a better handle on their cash flow. That is really exciting because again, you see their confidence go up. You see how they think about themselves. And that is always going to relate to more income.
Yes, because we are energy.
Yes.
I just 100% we are energy, and what our focus on, our wherever our attention goes, energy flows.
Yes.
And it's how we're focusing on what type of energy. Is it the uncertainty? Is it the wonkiness, the feeling unworthy, or having that uncertainty, the shame, the guilt, all of that? I mean, even when we think about it, your body feels heavy. I really
Yes.
want people to think about that.
Yes.
Anytime we are in that loop, that is affecting our body because our nervous system is responding. Cancer research shows this. It's all over the place, how the cells respond and how they're going to produce. So doing our best to just shift the script, I say, of I wonder how working with Kirsten and Jeanne can support me. I wonder what they're saying about this. Maybe there could be something to this, just even turning the worry into wonder, I say.
I love that. One of the things I love that you're talking
Worry into wonder.
I love that. Worry into wonder. And it's interesting too, because, I think our conscious and our subconscious mind, we're generally being run by our subconscious mind, but it does check in with our conscious mind. And we had a client who said that she's probably spent $10,000 between books on money manifesting, courses on money manifesting, going to events on money manifesting, and things just weren't turning around. But the reality is she was so afraid of her money. She was so afraid to look at her finances. And that meant she was repelling money. When you don't take care of your money, you're saying, I don't care about you. Energetically, you're ignoring it. You have shame or guilt around it. So
you're shoulding on yourself.
Yeah. On yourself. You should do this, you should do that. But yeah, so we also have to realize that we can't lie to ourselves as much as we think maybe we would like to. Energetically, I think our bodies know. And also, we can't really manipulate our subconscious to overcome something that we're consciously dealing with day in and day out.
It's so true.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see how that was her realizing that and having this conversation with us. And, sometimes when you're first getting that bookkeeper up and running and you're first getting your finances in order, it doesn't always feel good, especially if you're undercharging or you're spending too much money or whatever's happening in the business isn't where you want it to be. But once you face that and energetically step up and say, you know what, I can be a confident CEO. I can run my business like a boss, and I can get better at this, and I can improve what I'm doing, and I can grow my business from a very solid financial foundation. Because, money is just like you said, it's energy. And I want to love the energy around money. And I want to love how I feel about my perception of money and how I handle money.
For sure. We need to be transparent and stop holding, not showing our cards or keeping that close to the breast. It's more about, okay, I'm showing up. These people already helped me. This is, I want this. So trust. I think that's another thing. You two are, I just say, a dynamic duo. What you see here, people, is who they are. They were joking backstage, and they're best friends. They're really beyond business. They are genuine. So having that connection, having that, how can I support you? How can I show up for you? What can we do for you? This is who you both are. And I so appreciate you both, everything that you're doing and supporting people, because you literally want to celebrate others too. Isn't that right, Jeanne?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for saying all that. And you'll have to forgive me. I lost my voice last week, but yeah, I mean, our whole mission is, once Kirsten helped me up with my business, my marketing agency, and then, we both said, we can help other people who are very small businesses affordably get the help they need because they don't necessarily know how to do that. And we can. So, that's been our mission. And it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding when you get messages from your clients who say, oh my gosh, it came tax time and for the first time in my life, I wasn't panicking. And I had all of my books were together and all I had to do was send it from here to my CPA and it was done. And it was stress-free. And, we want people to feel that way about their money and about their finances and their business.
Exactly. And there's just something in our childhood, something along the way, whether it's cultural influence or, how our parents treated money or those type of, when bills came in the mail, was it woohoo, I got bills to pay, or oh, let's hide those, I don't want to see them. This is old school. Now it's like, boom, it comes right out of your bank account. But I want to bring it back to that as Kirsten, you were talking about how the money is energy. I remember in the 90s, I was listening to Susie Orman, and she said, your money, you have a relationship with your money. How is that working out for you? And I was just like, oh my gosh, my parents fought about money. Money was kept, it was like used as power or overspent because how my mother was, she was disabled. She couldn't go and do the things she wanted to. So she would do a lot of magazine orders. And so that was her power. So anyway, it's interesting to think, as we're spending, as we are saying yes to something, how is this serving me? Where is this coming from of I need this, or how am I building this relationship with my money? And then, do you like your money, as you both were alluding to, right? It's so interesting to think about how money influences people.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's, just having money mean I need to wear designer clothes and have flashy cars. Do I need to have those things to signal that I'm successful? Or maybe it's a conversation around, if I'm terrible with my money personally, that quality is probably going to carry over to how I am with my money in business, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's just so many different dynamics when it comes to money, but money isn't good or bad. It's just a tool. It's just an energy. We give so much meaning to it. And I think that's one of the things that helps when you have a professional bookkeeper taking care of the day-to-day bookkeeping, and you kind of get to step into that higher role of reviewing the reports and making the big decisions on where your money should go and what you want to do with it. I think that can kind of shift, again, how you view yourself. But also, so many business owners don't look at their money month to month. Yes. They scramble at tax time to get everything together, and then they can't make decisions. Maybe they had a very profitable year, and they could put $24,000 to $30,000 into, a solo IRA for something like that for a self-employed person. Depending on their age, they may be able to add more. What if they could put that money away tax deferred and completely cut their tax bill? But if they don't know that in advance, maybe they don't have the money set aside to do that. So looking at your finances regularly builds a healthier relationship with your money. It also gives you the information to make the decisions that it's going to help you run your business more successfully day to day, but it's also going to give you a bigger paycheck. It's going to allow you to take your family on, vacations, or, buy a new car, whatever you and your family need. It's going to support that lifestyle that you want. And that's, so many fights in families are about money. And so I'll say this, I don't necessarily know that having a lot more money always solves that problem, because
never does.
Spending habits stay the same. But by getting really in a great relationship with your finances within your business, hopefully you can take that and carry it into your personal life and perhaps start having better conversations with your partner or your spouse so that you can improve the dynamics around money in the
Yes.
household and really decide what you both value, what you appreciate, and how you want to move forward spending time.
Exactly. And feeling comfortable to have a conversation about money too. And so, Jeannie, I'm curious about with the automation, how does that work? How can you just kind of walk our listeners and viewers in how you both support, and what does this automation look like to help people gain more clarity about financial?
Yeah, it's so funny that it's such a tiny little word and it brings up
I
so
know.
much emotion, you know, only 5 little letters. Um, it's not necessarily automation, although, you know, we talk about different types of software that makes sense for the right people. It's really all about handing off the responsibility of categorizing and making good decisions. And then, you know, people think it's going to take so much time. And it does take some time in the beginning, you know, especially if you're behind, especially to kind of gather everything that needs to get together. But after that, you know, they might meet with their bookkeeper, you know, for a half an hour a month, but, you know, they're learning to understand their numbers. They're learning instead of like, you know, a great opportunity comes along and they want to invest in it. You know, maybe it's getting them in front of their ideal clients at a,
Mm.
you know, a seminar or something, and they really want to invest in it. Sometimes they just look, you know, do I have enough money in the bank? And that's just not, you know, the ideal way to do it. And so, you know, if you know, yes, I have this much in the bank, but I know this is already assigned to that and that's already assigned to that, but I still have it. And if it makes sense, you know, you have the confidence to go ahead and do that and know that you're not going to fall apart next month and, you know, kill your bottom line. So it's a fascinating, it's almost like a transition, you know, into this confident, smart, you know, person who feels really good about, you know, their business and about who they are.
Exactly. And it's an extension of ourselves. And so, yeah, there's just so much heavy weight, that uncertainty, as we talked about in the beginning, the shame and the guilt, yet having a wonderful network and support, such as you both offer with loveyourprofit.com, helping business owners to kind of weed that out and make it easier, especially if they're scaling bigger and they're not able to keep up with it. And I see, speaking of scaling bigger, I see Jennifer Thompson here. Thank you so much for being here. She's with IM Magazine. And of course, Mike Ashbranner, he's also chiming in. And Keith Mercer and Eco Sam. And also, I appreciate your response, Timothy Franklin, for chiming in earlier. You had said that you'd witnessed about, you know, people struggling with the same issues, and that's why they need trusted advisors such as both of you to just guide people. You know, once they get on the rails and they're going along, then it's easy and it's smooth. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And it's interesting, you know, Jeannie and I are not, we're not an outsourcing agency. We're outsourcing specialists, but we're not an outsourcing agency. So when we pair our clients with the bookkeeper that they'll work with, that bookkeeper is on their team. We don't know anything about the client's finances. Now we host live calls regularly so that we can answer clients' questions or help them formulate questions for their CPAs or things like that. But the reality is, when you bring that person onto your team, that dedicated bookkeeper that works for you, whether they work 5 hours a month for you or 25 hours a month for you, depending on your business's needs, it feels really good to have a confidant, to have a person who their superpower is bookkeeping. You know, they've got a degree in finance or accounting, and, you know, they've got all the certifications and all the different bookkeeping softwares. And that's their passion. That's their unique ability. They get up excited. And it's so amazing when you have that type of person on your team and they can advise you. They'll point out things that maybe you wouldn't have noticed. And that makes a big difference too. I think we forget that as human beings, we love being collaborative. And we've heard over and over and over again over the past, you know, 15 years we've been doing this. that so many business owners, when they first bring on, let's say their marketing virtual assistant, because that's what we really started helping our clients with a long time ago, we heard all the time, I feel so much more confident now that I have, this person on my team. I had no idea how isolated and lonely I was in my business. I had no idea how much time I was spending beating myself up because I couldn't do everything myself. So as humans, we love collaboration. And when you have this, again, skilled person on your team who can be your confidant and who can be someone that you can talk out different situations about your finances with and be more informed and more educated, so that when you go to talk to your CPA, you're feeling confident having conversations with them. Because that's another thing that we've heard so much is that, and that's what we really want to do. We want to bridge those conversations. I felt like my CPA always talked down to me. One lady I talked to was doing between $3 and $4 million a year. And she said every time she talked to her CPA, she felt like she was being scolded. And, and also terminology. If we don't really understand the terminology, we don't know what questions to ask, or we feel ignorant when something's being explained to us and we don't fully understand it. But by having that, professional bookkeeper work on your team, now you have an opportunity to have these types of conversations and to continue to grow your financial knowledge and your financial skills, as the CFO of your business. And I just don't think that's always available to us. And so I'm really glad that that's something that we've been able to facilitate. And, on the flip side of that, we love serving our clients. There's nothing that makes us happier than hearing our clients win. But we also have this honor and this privilege to work with these beautiful people halfway around the world who are well educated and hardworking. We're able to pair them with our clients who treat them well and pay them on time and value what they bring to the team. And that's magic. We have clients going on 7 and 8 years with the same virtual assistants. And those relationships just get better with time. And build. Yeah. I just get up every day excited about what we do.
Yeah, because, and also you're creating that ripple effect globally. You're supporting people around the world. So everybody, that reciprocity is happening, and it's beautiful dynamic. And I saw this comment from Mike, because I could keep going and going and going about all of this, but I also want to bring it back to, this is what builds the clarity. Yes. Where is my money going? How am I managing my business in this way? And then with working with others, then it brings that confidence, that skill of, oh, look, I know exactly where my money's going. I know what my profits are. I know that I can start saving up, or, looking into that next purchase for business. And I love that. So thank you so much. And so Mike is asking about, when is your next event about this? I think he's alluding to your masterclass that's coming up. So I want to just bring that up. So I don't know if Jeanne, you want to start sharing about that?
Sure. It's called Less Math, More Money, and you can just go to lessmathmoremoney.com. It's happening on June 11th. If you're watching this live or before that, but we do it once a month. And it's us live, just talking to you about your money and, the important things that you need to know about it. You don't need to know how to do bookkeeping, but you do need to know, what do I need to look at with regards to my numbers? So it's fun. It's great. It'll open your eyes to, wow, and am I leaking profit out of my business just because I'm not paying attention? Am I spending time on things that are costing me money? So we just want to make you aware, and if we can help you, we'd love to do that. So the other thing I wanted to say was that the bookkeepers that our clients work with, they don't judge them. They don't care what you're spending your money on. You spend it on whatever you want. They just, they're all about making sure it's in the right place. That's what they do. So, don't worry about, what are they going to think of me if I spend, it's to you, it's your business, it's your money. So yeah, it's a nice, no judgment place.
Yeah. And having trusted people to actually support and guide through this. But I want to bring it back to this masterclass. So it's a free masterclass.
Mhm.
It's on June 11th.
Mhm.
And
2 p.m.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
2 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And so besides, I like the title, less math. I don't want to do math either. It is even a challenge for me to put those figures in a spreadsheet. So besides understanding that, what is the key point that they're going to walk away with this masterclass?
Yeah. So first of all, when they sign up for the masterclass, you'll get some emails from us to kind of give you a little preview of what's going to happen. But we are going to talk about, profit margins. We're going to talk about pricing a little bit. We're going to talk about tax write-offs that a lot of business owners miss. It's reported that the smallest businesses in the U.S. are the ones that overpay the most in taxes. So the businesses that can least afford it are the ones that are most likely to be overpaying in taxes. So we're going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about how, again, like Jeannie said, you do not need to do your bookkeeping, but it does need to be done because that is data, that is information that gives you everything you need to make sound decisions for your business rather than just guessing or hoping that and everything will be okay. So we want to empower our clients through this class to see what it would look like and what it would feel like to have their finances in order, to be maximizing their tax write-offs, to be cutting worthless expenses. We're never telling someone, oh, you shouldn't pay for that. But, people want to cut out the excess wasted spending so that they can bring home a bigger paycheck, so that they can start to build real wealth. And by delegating, we know that, again, time is our most valuable asset. By learning how to delegate, even if it's just this one thing, your bookkeeping, you're going to see what it's like to buy back your time. So you're not busy rushing at tax time, taking an entire week off to get everything together, but also what it's like to get back your time energetically because you don't have the guilt, the shame, and the stress over your finances. So we have fun in that class. We do a live Q&A at the end. It runs about 45 minutes to an hour. And at the end, obviously, we talk to you more about our program, Love Your Profit, and what it would look like to work with us and have us pair you with a professional bookkeeper.
Yes, you both, I've been in your rooms before and you both are amazing and all the information that you provide is spot on. And it's not a lot of fluff either. You just tell it like it is and you're real. And that's what I love about you both.
Oh,
Thank you. We joke. Sometimes we love to educate so much. We're not always super friendly, maybe, or not sociable enough, but there's no fluff. We want to get in there and we want you to walk away, whether you choose to work with us or not. After this masterclass, you want information that you can use to make your business better. And then if what we do is I write for you, then obviously you'll have an opportunity to work with us. But our goal is just to empower business owners with information that isn't diluted and isn't, like you said, full of a lot of fluff, so that they can just walk away understanding better how to build their business on a solid financial foundation.
Yeah. And that really sets us up when we feel more clear. And it takes a little time too. I want to say this. Yes, working with somebody is amazing, but also for our own nervous system to acclimate, to get into that rhythm, into that stepping into this new way of being with your money, with this energy, with this, you're creating new neural pathways literally in your brain. And then you're like, oh, this is good, right? So then it shifts our reaction to more of a response of, oh, this feels easier. I feel lighter.
Yes.
Boy, now that I'm more relaxed and not so holding tight, I'm able to have more space for myself. I'm able to do things maybe with the family, maybe even have more quality interactions with clients.
Yeah.
Because they're not in fear of, I need to make that sale for X, Y, and Z. Yes, Jeannie, I see that you're like, oh yes, I got something.
Oh yes. Yeah. The amount of clients that come to us and say, I can't believe I didn't do this before. Like, what was I afraid of? Why didn't I take that step? Because, I just let that fear and anxiety and my nervous system, heating up making me think that this was so complicated, but it doesn't have to be. And that's our goal, is to make it not complicated and to connect you and with the right people.
Exactly. And it looks like Jennifer Thompson's like, I am there. I'm going to register. And Sam, also Eco Sam, said that she was interested in it as well. And yeah, Mike is also shouting out for you guys.
We're excited. We'll love to have all of you there. It's amazing. And, April, when you were talking about, our nervous systems too, it goes back to having that bookkeeper working with you and how that shifts when you have somebody who's like, oh, I've got this. I can take care of that for you. Or don't worry, I can explain that. Because again, when we're facing something that isn't our natural superpower or something that does cause us so much anxiety, to have that person who's like, oh, I've got this. And you can kind of breathe again, right? And over time. Yeah. And it's so fascinating because like Jeanne was talking about, we get so many awesome messages from our clients, but we also get so many amazing messages from the bookkeepers about how much they're enjoying the clients and how, just how grateful they are that we've been pairing them with amazing people. And, our goal is for our clients to get to work with those bookkeepers, indefinitely. As long as your business is up and running, having this person who is your trusted advisor on your team. And I don't think we said this yet, but, because we're not an agency and we don't mark up the labor, those bookkeepers are $9 an hour. And so every single person out there can afford to have an amazing bookkeeper on their team who can help them, understand their cash flow or projections, or really get into reading the profit and loss, or to talk out, maybe there's, like Jeanne said, maybe there's a great opportunity, but it's rather expensive. It's going to cost $10,000 to $15,000, to go to that seminar, but you think you can make $100,000 in return. It's nice to have a confidant that you can talk about how you can move things around, or where could you cut some costs, or what could you do to make that happen. And I think that really helps our nervous system when we don't feel like we're all alone.
Exactly. We are, as I think Jeanne was saying, working with others. This is what we enjoy as humans. We need that connection and that experience as we're learning more about ourselves in the process. That's what anything that we're doing, we're learning more about us. It's never about the money. Did you hear that? I'm serious. It's never about the money. It's all about us and how we are perceiving ourselves, how we're projecting it out. Unfortunately, a lot of times onto others, when it's our responsibility to remember this is us. This gives us agency. We want to be confident and clear. So why not connect and have some support here with your finances?
Yeah, like people are listening to just kind of imagine that this responsibility is no longer yours. Somebody else was there, like Kirsten said, to take on the role of making sure all these pieces are in the right place. And then, you bringing more money in every month because now oh, I've cut this out that I didn't need, or, oh, I've raised my prices and now I've got more money coming in. Instead of, I think a lot of people fight money, I need more. They feel like it's a battle. Well, what if it weren't? What if it was just nice and peaceful and supportive and something that you welcomed into your life? So I'd like to.
That's that shifting the script. I love it. Yeah, I absolutely love that. Thank you for saying that. And, before we go, I just have kind of a reflecting question. If someone's listening today and they've been avoiding their numbers, I think we kind of alluded to this, but let's just bring it back around. They're just avoiding the numbers. They're not making the right decisions, or they're carrying that uncertainty longer than they'd like to admit. What's one small step that they could take this week that would help them move towards that greater clarity? What's just a small step that you could advise for someone?
First of all, I'd say forgive yourself. Every single person that we've talked to who is behind or had something happen, life happens, right? So it could be a death in the family or something that just an illness. Life happens, and we judge ourselves and we beat ourselves up so much more than anyone else. And so just think, if this were someone else, what would I tell them, right? The past is the past. We can't live in it. Forgive yourself and think, what can I do now to move forward? And if it's just come to the masterclass and learn some things and walk away and utilize those, great. Whatever that is, just don't, if we continue to carry what we perceive as our past mistakes with us, we're still the same place tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the next month and the next year. But if you think, okay, this is something that is so easy. If I had a professional bookkeeper who loves doing books and I worked with them, I could get everything together. They could get everything caught up. I could file my past taxes. Maybe I would have a tax bill to the IRS. I could work out a tax plan, but I would be back to feeling confident about moving my business forward. So forgive yourself and then realize you deserve the help and the support to move yourself forward.
Oh, that forgiveness is huge. And also, just even accepting ourselves that we didn't know what we didn't know before.
Right.
And we're here to learn and evolve in life. That's what we're here to do. Yeah. So Jeanne, what gold nugget do you have to share with our listeners and viewers today? One small step they could take?
I would say take the step, whatever that is for you. If that's just, okay, how many accounts do I have for my business? Let's just pull it all together, something simple like that. And then, of course, I would say come to the masterclass because we can help you with some of the other parts and pieces. But just know that money is coming in and going out of your business, whether you're paying attention to it or not. So it's not something that's stopping. So now is the perfect time to say, okay, I'm going to get a hold of it and I'm going to turn it around and make it work for me and make it feel good. And, like you said earlier, now, if you're comfortable and you know what's coming in and going out, maybe you can take that trip with your family. Maybe you can, splurge on that piece of furniture that you've always wanted, and feel good that, oh, I know I'm not taking money away from my bills next month. So it takes time, but, forgiveness, like Kirsten said, acknowledging, and then just taking that first step. What can I do differently to put myself forward?
Yes, it's so important. And really our business is a living entity. It carries energy. So even thinking, if my business was a plant, what would it look like? Is it kind of withering and, oh, I need more sunlight, I need water, or is it like, whoa, I'm outgrowing this pot here and I'm growing wild? Just even thinking of that, it just popped into my mind, it is living and breathing. And so how are we cultivating it? What nourishment, what are we providing for it? Because we want it to thrive. We want to thrive with it.
Yeah, I love that analogy.
I do too. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So Eco Sam agrees. So thank you. Thank you, Sam, for being here. And also for those who want to reach out to you, I know I have the little ticker underneath. What's the best way to get in touch with you? I know I have a little banner for you, but.
Sure. Yeah, if you're interested in the masterclass, you can sign up for it at lessmathmoremoney.com. If you'd like to learn more about Jeanne and myself, you can go to sixfigurebusinesscoaching.com, and there we talk about the other types of outsourcing that we help our clients with. And there should be a link to book a call if you'd want to just learn more, connect with us. We'd love to do that.
Beautiful. Yes. Any last comments, any reflections before we leave today?
Well, I just wanted to thank you, April, for having us. This has been so much fun. I mean, this is what we love to talk about. We love to spread the word that, your business and watching it grow doesn't have to be so painful, and you don't have to do it on your own. So, and thank you to Sam and Mike and Keith and everybody who I saw was here. So we appreciate y'all being here.
So much so. And April, like, you just have such a beautiful perspective on the world and how you help people to just center themselves. And I I'm looking forward to signing up for your masterclass, and I'd love to encourage everyone else to do the same, because every time we have the privilege of spending time with you, I feel like I learned something new, but I also feel like I walk away like so much I'm a really wound up person, if you guys don't know. I walk away much calmer after being around April. My nervous system now.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you both. I so appreciate you being here and shining your lights and sharing, seriously, because people are carrying so much in their nervous system. We don't have to carry that cost of the uncertainty. Reach out to Kirsten and Jeanne. Why not be part of that masterclass? And even if you're watching it after the date, reach out to them. I'm sure there's going to be more, as I know you both are always doing some amazing things. So reach out to them. You don't have to do it alone. Don't carry this burden. And we don't need that any longer. Yeah.
Thank you, April.
Thank you, April.
You're welcome. And everyone, keep living with intention. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Be well.